So yeah, it's the concept is music from all over. It's what we try to do to make the world a better place, is find out what other people from all over the world are writing the music and trying to do their part to do something beautiful for us, for the collective. And this piece was written by a very old friend of mine, a member of the Blackfoot Nation. And he writes this about his piece. He calls it The Enchanted Sapphire. And he says that this piece was composed in the foothills of the Sapphire Mountains of Montana. However, the main reason for using the name sapphire is drawn from the color of a mountain lake reflecting the sky. The enchanting nature of Montana and the lore of the mountains are the main inspiration for the title Enchanted Sapphire. And Joe, the fellow who wrote it, he wrote it for me, which I felt was very nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a real honor.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. Fred Anwaseki is from Ghana, and he's lived all over the world, and this is a piece, kind of like a love song that he wrote for his beautiful city of Accra, which is the capital of Ghana, after having been away for a very, very long period of time. He wrote this for the piano, and I transcribed it for the guitar. That's what makes this fun to share with you, because it is so different. This one is from Brazil, and it was given to me by a friend who I met when I was in Salvador, Bahia. And Salvador, Bahia is the first capital of Brazil, and the music making down there is not so dichotomized. Like they don't go to a jazz concert, go to a classical concert. It's very mixed. It's a very mixed situation, and so you'll hear that in this little prelude that Baccia wrote in 1988, which was the 100th anniversary of the abolition of slavery in Brazil. Salvador and all the really cool people that I met. And this is many years ago. It's 15 years ago at least. The next piece is by a woman named Chen Yi from China, and it's a type of music that's very popular in Western China amongst, I would say it's not concert music necessarily. Basically what happens is you'll have a troupe of musicians and storytellers and dancers, and the whole thing will be very multimedia. And so what she does, that's what she approaches. So there's different textures to this piece, but the underlying accompaniment of the whole project is an instrument, a cousin of our guitar, called the saxon, and it's a very interesting. We know that the lute is one of the forebearers of the guitar, but this is like a Chinese lute, and it has like a tortoise shell and 3 strings, and it's tuned. The pegs are like a violin. So that's what Chen Yi is trying to. She's employing that kind of technique on a guitar, and also having like some a little bit of dance music and mixed in, and some folkloric vocal quality. So this is Shuo Chan, which is a type of piece, and Chen Yi is sharing this part of her culture with us. I used to watch some of these, go online and watch some of these Chinese people playing this Sanchon. You wonder that after that, because that strumming technique with that thing, yeah, they're doing that with on this, and the strings of that instrument are very thick. They're almost, yeah, and they're just.
I'm gonna have to write down what you called it.
Yeah, when we're done, I'll write it down.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Because it's obviously transliterated from the Chinese, which I wish I had more time to learn to speak Mandarin. I don't think I'll get around to that one in this lifetime. So.
You never know.
That's true.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's true. Yeah, because the music does keep you young. Keeps you young. So the next piece is from Turkey. It's this very sad song. It's based on a folk song. It's very sad. It's called "I'm on the long narrow path," and it's like the words are. Since the moment I was born, I've been walking as if in a very dimly lit tent that has only an entrance and an exit. So. very interesting story behind this is that I almost missed the opportunity to even have this experience because I was so more fond of sleeping than learning. I'd rather sleep than learn. But I was fortunate to have a lovely wife who said, "Don't sleep, get out of bed, go do this." Where I'm going with this is there was a fellow named Dr. Armand Sarmast, who Eastern Washington University had in as a guest speaker. Now this was before the fall of Kabul, Afghanistan. So I thought, well, he's an ethnomusicologist guy. It's like I thought, well, but that would have been a stupid thing to have done because, as it turned out, Armand Sarmast Kabul fell, and his music school had to go into exile to Lisbon, Portugal, because he had poor people and young women and young men learning music together. And so this had become verboten. And it was dangerous for him. There were not only threats, but there was an attempt on this guy's life. Real hero of music. And
Nice there, are they?
and he's a lovely person. I consequently spoke with him after the conference and continued email with him. And I thought, Dr. Sarmast, if you just send me some music that your orchestra plays, I would love to just take a look at it, maybe transcribe it for my guitar. It's been a real pleasure to meet you. Have a nice day. Like I say, and then Kabul fell. So Dr. Sarmast is in hiding, and I'm sitting at a friend of ours' house reading the Wall Street Journal, and I'm like, oh, that's Armand Sarmast. That's the fellow I was talking to. And then on NPR, I'm like, well, we're going to talk about the Afghani music school that's in exile in Lisbon, Portugal, and then New York Times has reported on it several times. So it was very fortunate, and it sounds ridiculous to name drop like that, but because he's a true hero, a very, very courageous man to continue to do what he does and to believe in it, and those young people have the heart to have followed, and they are still making music together. Not in Kabul, though Kabul could use a little bit more music. That's my opinion.
There you go.
So the piece is called Farwa Din, which is it comes from the Persian calendar and roughly translates to springtime. Oh, and Ustad Sarmast is the father of Armand.
body was trying to dance to that one.
What's that?
My body was trying to dance to that one.
I know. It's so neat too, you know. And there's videos of the orchestra that are on YouTube, and it's so neat to see these young people just play. And it's such an eclectic thing because Sarmas trained in Australia on Western instruments, but he integrates Middle Eastern instruments, sitars, tambourines, all sorts of more exotic wind instruments, and just to see these young people just getting down with that, and it's really, really cool. And the generational aspect. That's why there's no dates for Ustad, because I don't know much about Dr. Sarmas's father, and but he was kind enough to share some of his dad's music with us. So the next work is from Japan. It's I don't know if people are familiar with Studio Ghibli at all, or it's a Japanese film studio, and they make films like Kiki's Delivery Service, and we saw Boy and the Heron yesterday, and it's kind of, young people know it quite a bit because it's like the Disney of Japan, and so the fellow who wrote this, Joe. His name on the program he's generally known as Joe Hisaishi, and which his name is adapted. It's obviously not his birth name, but it's adapted because one of his main mentors was Quincy Jones, the American music producer, the guy who produced all the Michael Jackson records. Yeah. So if you're familiar with like John Williams, who wrote all the music to Star Wars and so forth, this guy is like the Japanese equivalent. So this is from a film called Spirited Away, which is going to be playing up at the Garland in Spokane here in July sometime. And it's just, the piece is called One Summer's Day. just even without the movies, you know. Yeah. But the movies are really beautiful too. I mean, they're works of art. Some of the illustration of those things are really. I mean, we can attest to that. We saw it yesterday. It was like, holy cow. Well, so this brings us to the last piece. Thanks for coming out. It's always fun to play music for everybody. Thanks. Nice to meet your son. and it's always it's an honor to have a friend for so long, such as you and Michael, and you as well, Laverne. And I always tell the story about my favorite reception ever in the whole history of my life was the time that you had the salmon and the elk for us. We came down to play. Still remember.
Quick question, how did you guys connect?
Well, guitar. I mean, Michael. Yeah, we met at there was a festival in 2000.
That was my question.
Yeah, so Michael was just starting out building, and we guitar, but it's a small world, so we started that visit, and we've been friends ever since. It's been it's been a real, and as it is truly the level of craftsmanship and attention that Michael gives to each of these instruments is really, it really is. It really is. Laverne was kind enough to share with you. You know, I mean, this is a part. It's like the part that nobody sees is the most beautiful.
I don't know, you got a little piece on top up there, you can kind of see it, on the other side.
Oh yeah.
At the very top.
Oh, I know. I know.
You still got a little piece.
And beautiful rosette.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is.
The sound is amazing.
It's a work of art.
I think it's the combo.
It really is. You know, yeah. There's it's we couldn't do it without one another. That's for sure.
That's it. Yeah. And it's just a pretty piece of wood without somebody that can play it.
And you know, we couldn't do it without what's going on outside of our windows. These beautiful trees and you know, and we're very fortunate because the wood came from here, around here, or
The top is Western red cedar, so it's from this region. I sourced it in Portland, Oregon.
So were you originally from here, or?
no, I've been here about 30 years though.
Oh,
I grew up in Philadelphia,
okay.
so it's a ways back
Yeah.
east. But it's going to. We all know it's going to get hot this week. But I tell you, the last couple of weeks of June were the reason I decided to stay. Just the cool evenings and the clear, fresh air, and so hopefully the hot weather will clear out and go back.
No, I thought the winters were pretty hard though.
Oh yeah.
You're looking forward to the winter, and then the winter you look forward to the summer.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You got to remember that those winters can get
Winters that would be the summer season.
such as life.
There you go.
All right, this final piece is by one of my favorite composers. He's an indigenous person from Paraguay, and not to say he's just really a very brilliant guitar player. So see what you think. What's that?
You and your guitar can surely sing.
Oh, thank you. But
Beautiful.
you make it easy with the play when people are smiling.
You got a little